Tell us a little bit more about when you were baptized.
So
The second time.
The second time, yes. So I had moved to a different state, and I was living there for a good little while. But then it was their first baptism day, because they had a whole Sunday dedicated just for baptism. And I think there was about 30 other people getting baptized besides me.
Yeah.
I was the second person to get baptized in the lineup, but it was inside of our church. We had a little actual tub in the stage. So it was much more significant as like part of an actual, like, okay, this is a thing that everyone is going to witness. So people witnessing your declaration of faith was really important. But for me, when I was going up and I was like waiting for my turn, it also was like a moment of like, okay, I'm in myself and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to sit here and pray and just kind of wait for my turn. But when you go into the water, I was thinking like, okay, Jesus, all the things that you have seen me do, all the sins, everything that I've been carrying, all this baggage, I'm going to leave it in the water. Right. So then when my pastor was praying with me before he, kind of dips you in, he was talking about like all these different things that he was kind of like receiving in the spirit of like the trajectory of my life and like different things that were prophesied over me.
Sure.
And he had no knowledge of. So it was also a very spiritually significant moment for me in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it was sudden, and it was like all of a sudden he was speaking to all the things that I was hearing about and had no real, like, I understood them, but I didn't really pursue them or think that those were actual things that were going to happen to me or things that I could really do for the kingdom. So I just kind of like sat with it when I was really young. Because when you're young, you don't really know. So as I was standing there waiting and I was listening to him speak this over me before I was baptized, I was like, okay, I'm understanding this and I'm getting it. And when he was praying for me, I felt like this release of like, okay, this is really something, like the Spirit is here. Mm-hmm. So he dips me and I come back up, and it really does feel like a cleansing.
Wow.
So I felt like, okay, completely washed clean. And it was so weird because I felt like lighter, but when you're in water, it kind of just, it has a feeling of like, oh, I'm sloshing around in water. But but when you feel light as a feather, it's like, okay. Yeah. So I felt like all of a sudden extremely happy. So I just sort of got out of the pool because you know the next person's got to go. So you're like, okay. So
I'm counting the Lord. Let's get out of the pool here. Like, that's awesome.
We've got a program here. There's people that are waiting in line.
Yeah, my life is being changed. But like, let me get